So in front of you today, I'll be presenting, here's my slideshow controller. A few projects that I comes across my table every season. We will see multiple projects, and I will usually line them up and compare them to pick out which one is the most unique, which one has the opportunities within them. Of all these that comes across my table, the highlighted yellow ones are the ones we will be discussing today about. So as you can see, most of the prices and tenants are actually national chain tenants: Arby's, Chipotle, Starbucks, El Pollo Loco, Del Taco, and more. And cities that are all within California, since I'm only licensed in California. The prices are generally between $2 million or higher, up to $5 million. So like in Monopoly, I often say you buy one house, two house, three house, four house, and then you buy that hotel. That hotel resembles a commercial property. So they are generally at a higher price point. And on the right side, you'll see remaining terms. That's how many years they have remaining on their lease. Generally speaking, the longer the lease term, the more secure it is, and also it has option times. That means after their lease expires, how many times can they renew it at a predetermined rate. So in here we have actual rent per year and the building year, because the newer it is, the less maintenance you have to go through. But even that, in most of my cases here, we won't have to worry about anything about maintenance. The first project that we're gonna go over is actually the most unique of these lists. It's a warehouse in Rancho Cucamonga. I picked it because it's local to us, and we might have friends or family that is considering a warehouse. This one is located on the 9th Street in Rancho Cucamonga. It is about 6,358 square feet in size. Built in 2007, relatively new. Price per square foot is about $330 per square foot. 2 stories, with most of the second story being offices. Of the 6,300 square feet, there is about 2,000 square feet in office spaces. There are 2 ground level loading docks and has 400 amps of power. So these are the ones that we will be looking at. The location, it is actually located right here between Highway 10 and Foothill Boulevard and close to the airport. It's in the condominium plaza, so it's like it's a warehouse condominium, we call it, where you will be sharing kind of like one side of the building to the next. Very similar to our house, 2-unit houses, basically. The asking price is a little bit over $2 million. And the benefit about this, what are the numbers, why, and who are the suitable buyers for such a project? If this property currently stands vacant, so you might be able to negotiate your own term with your new tenant and create value out of this property. And sorry, it's not suitable for national food chain restaurants. That's for the other one. Considering the current market price for this property, it rents about $1.60 per square feet per month. With a 12-month, it ends up to be about $122,000 a year of equivalent in savings from renting another warehouse. Which if one buys this one for a self-use, you'll be able to save about $10,000 per month in rent. And we also have a depreciation. So with this value depreciated by 39.5 years, we get to deduct its book value by about 50-some thousand per year. So if one is making too much of an income, we might be able to depreciate off against the income. And then also we have a tax write-off on interest payment for loans. On this, please consult with your trusted and qualified tax advisor, such as David. And building equity and appreciation against inflation. So usually the commercial loan terms were going to be amortized in 40 years, which means in about 40 years, you'll be able to fully pay off your loan and own the property free and clear. So a lot of my old business friends who might have owned property for 20, 30, 40 years, they are literally not having any rent to worry about. So even against the cost of the the human resources or cost of supply is going up, they are still be able to stay afloat in their business terms. So that's that. Next one, we're gonna go to Del Taco. The opportunity awaits in San Dimas. This one is a very interesting project. It's down here. It's the lowest asking price of all in my list, even though the cap rate, meaning the return, is also very low at only 4%. And the unique part about it is, while you see everyone here has about 16 years, 15 years, 13 years, and 10 years remaining, this one only has half year remaining on its lease. And with two 5-year options, meaning it can lease renew up to 10 years only at 10% increase rate. I like this one a lot because the fact that it only has half year left in its lease, because we might be able to find a new tenant, negotiate a new rate, and create a value out of it. While if you can see all these years with the 15-year terms, they are all at $3 million and up. So with this Del Taco, if we can find a new tenant, there is literally $1 million or more to be made in this project. And one of its unique term is the lessee shall pay to lessor additional rent in amount equal to 5% of the annual gross sales. So this one, Del Taco, on top of the $82,000 they pay in the rent, they will also pay a portion of their gross sales to you. So this is its terms, about 4% cap rate. Lease expires June next year. And total land area is a little over ½ acre. So I assume that there is more room to be developed if you want to add a second pad. So room for additional building. The building area is only 2,000 square feet, not a lot. But yeah, I love the location. It's between Arrow Highway, which gets 16,000 cars per day, and West Bonita, 15,000 cars per day. And we are right off the exit at 57 Orange Freeway with 161,000 cars per day. Right here is the Boot Barn. Many of us might be familiar with it. Planet Fitness, Baskin Robbins. We're in the same plaza as Denny's, 99-cent stores, Carl's Jr. And we're also very close to the San Dimas Plaza with Big Five, Big Guys, Habit, and whatnot. Del Taco and Lowe's are right here. So this is a really, really good intersection to locate in. So even if Del Taco goes out of business, even if they do not renew their terms, we still can find a great tenant for this location. Here, in commercial real estate, we're comparing between tenants as these national corporates. So in terms of Del Taco, it has about 600 locations with over 8,000 employees. It is owned by Jack in the Box Corporation since 2021. And yeah, they are acquiring Del Taco for $12.50 per share. And it was finalized just last year in 2022. So their base is based in Lake Forest, a local California company. Lease abstract. So the highlight of this one, it is expiring soon. So I'm literally just waiting for their lease to expire on this one. The cons for investing in this one is once it expires, you will not receive a rental income. So buying this, you have to hold for maybe 1 year or 2 years until we find the next tenant. But if in these 2 years we are able to create $1 million in value, I will be happy to wait. But this one is not for those who need urgent cash flow every single month. And yeah, here is the lessee shall pay lessor additional rent in amount equal to 5% of the annual gross sales, less the annual amount of minimum month rent payment paid to the lessor. This is that. And tenant shall pay all real property tax and assessments. We do not have to worry about property tax. So when we are looking at the 4%, 5%, these ones, we do not have to worry about property tax, which usually dictates to about 1.2%. So when we're netting, it's equivalent to about 5 to 6% compared to the residential returns. Yeah, and tenants shall maintain all the insurances. They are insuring their bodily injury and property damage for $5 million. They pay for all the utilities and they pay for the maintenance. We don't have to worry about anything. Stable cash flow, it creates about $82,500. So the worst case, if they continue to lease our property, we just collect the rent for $82,000 plus their gross sales. And they have been successfully operating at this location since 1983. So they have been operating for 40 years already. They might continue for another 10 years, they may not. But the length of the terms is the safety of these income is that something that I really care about. So they only have about 10 years remaining, and this is a corporate signature guaranteed by the Del Taco corporate. Zero landlord responsibility. Tenant maintains all aspects of the subject properties, including roof, structure, and property taxes. So this is really worry-free. So the winter holiday sale, they are for sale, they are not on sale. The next one we'll be going to is El Pollo Loco. This one has been there for 33 years. They just extended 20-year new lease and remodeled in 2023. So similar to what Del Taco might do, this one is asking for $4 million because of the value it creates with a 20-year lease and 10% increase for every 5 years. Their annual rent they'll be paying is $185,000. And they are one of the highest cap rate that we offer in this list at 4.68%. El Pollo Loco is in great location, very close to the Highway I-5 with 300 cars per day. And we are right across from Chapman Avenue with 30,000 cars per day, and Main Street, 28,000 cars per day. So this one definitely has a much higher traffic. And we are located right next to a middle school, which a lot of students getting off the school might be shopping at here. We're close to Fashion Island, Whole Foods, South Coast Plaza, Main Place Mall, Anaheim Angel Stadium. So in a prime location. This one, the investment summary is about close to $4 million. Price per square feet is very, very high. And the total land is also about half acre. Very comparable in the size and building. And so you can see the potential future that we might be comparing at here. The lease just got renewed, so they are expiring in 20 years. By investing in this, we'll have a corporate guaranteed by El Pollo Loco, and you won't have to worry about tenant turnover in 20 years. And also guaranteed rent increase every 5 years. Some of the investment highlight, it is a long-term lease, high visibility, high traffic locations, close to about 300,000 cars per day going around this vicinity area. Irreplaceable retail hub located within the retail hub of Orange with adjacent name brand tenants such as Ralph's, Dollar Tree, Marshall's, McDonald's, Starbucks, and many others. It is corporate guaranteed. Once again, we don't have to worry about anything because it's a type of land lease. And it is a debt-free asset. This owner has owned it long enough that he does not own any debt. And no existing finance in place. So it allows investors the ability to customize debt to achieve optimal returns. What that means is, let's say if I want to borrow a loan and the commercial banker says, hey, the rate right now is 8% or 7.5%. With this one, we might be able to go to the owner and say, hey, would you finance me on this purchase? I'll be able to come up with 30% down. He'll probably be happy to loan you the remaining 70% at his own cost for maybe about 6%, which is below the market, but still higher than what he can yield in a bank. So this is, we get to structure the terms, and it's very fun.
Tom, I have a quick question.
Yes.
I love this concept.
Yes.
If somebody were to do that,
Mm-hmm.
and let's say in 10 years, the regular rates drop 4%,
Mm-hmm.
can you get out of that 6% with him and
Yes.
then refinance?
Yes. That's very common. Usually we don't talk about 40-year fixed terms. So loans are often refinanced every 5 years. And that's why a lot of office owners are returning their property to the banks because they are not able to afford the new rate what they get 5 years ago. Very beautiful remodeled building. They are NASDAQ stock. Their company revenue makes about $475 million with about 4,626 employees at 480 different locations. I remember El Pollo Loco, the first time I see this brand was on Trump's The Apprentice. They were advertising this even in New York. So I really like this. Their headquarters is based in Costa Mesa, and their company was founded since 1975. In here, their initial lease started at 1989, and their new lease is just about due in 20 years with 4 5-year options. So in here, we're gonna see the magic of compounding. Their old rent, you have that sheet in front of you, you cannot read this, if you cannot read this, was $125,000, approximately $10,000 a month, but they just renegotiated to $185,000. So that's gonna be their new rent starting next year. And with the 5-year increase, 10%, you're gonna see the magic of compounding from 10%, 21%, 33% at the end of the year 20. So we're gonna be about a little bit over 1.5% at this one. But however, at the end of year 40, at option 4, you're gonna see the rent close to double because of that 10% compound. And what that means is when it can create $360,000 per year, this property is gonna worth $8 million, double of its rental income that it can bring in. The leased premises, okay, so these are, they pay for our utilities just like everything. So that's what I wanna show you, the magic of compounding. Commercial properties are not to be bought and sold every 2-3 years. They are usually for a holding at least 5, 10, 20 years. And this is how it's drive-through. You can see a restaurant sitting dining table and also a pickup table. I specialize in commercial real estate. If you know anybody who's interested in it, I will be happy to have a free consultation session with them to see what would be their best strategy. Yes?
Quick question. So just referring back to your spreadsheet, where it talks about 5% sales
Yes.
part of the income for the owner.
Yes.
How do you verify that? Like, do they what if they fudge the numbers? They're like, we didn't make anything.
It's a national corporate brand, so it's not like a cash-only restaurant. So it's all in their registry, and we can verify them usually every quarterly or every half year.
And most likely they're not cash basis, they're probably under GAAP rules, so they will have a certified report.
Yes.
So there's not wiggle room for
It's not the guy with the hole in the wall down the
Yeah,
street. No,
that guy.
that's not that guy.
Yes.
Just curious. Thank you.
And also, you see the orange highlighted Starbucks. This is also located in San Dimas. They just built this property in 2021, brand new building. And they are offering at $5.3 million for this at 13 years. So with that Del Taco in San Dimas, that's the real potential I see. The same demographic, the same or equal level of national brand. If we are able to duplicate such a lease to such a company, we will be able to make that much wealth. That's how I see it. Okay. Thank you very much for listening me out.